Developed shooting ranges, also called recreational shooting ranges, are permanently located at improved areas that are designed, maintained, and operated for the use of rifles, shotguns, pistols, or any other similar sport shooting in an outdoor environment.
May 21st, 2020, around 11 o'clock, we received a call from dispatch that there was a fire in this general area. Fire rapidly grew to 192 acres in a matter of hours. We had approximately 13 engines and overhead, along with 6 aircraft, including our helitack crew. We were able to catch the fire with these resources, but it left a permanent scar on the land.
As far as how often shooting firearms causes wildfires, unfortunately, we don't have great records or good data on that historically, but we do know that the frequency of target shooting related fires has increased substantially over the last 15 to 20 years.
And with the increase in fire in these areas, it's changed the fire regime, where this area would normally see fire maybe once every 7 years. We're seeing it almost every year, and it's allowing the invasives to take over. As you can see, we have stinknet, the yellow flowers, the red brome behind me. And what that does, these plants germinate and grow and then die out faster than the native annuals. So that makes them available to burn much quicker than the native annuals, thus changing the fire regime. They thrive off disturbance. With more fires, the more chance these invasives have to get a foothold.
I've been to a lot of fires started by target shooting before anybody believed that it was true. Now that we have the information on what the actual ignition point is, how that occurs, it just is going to help keep public safe and help keep our firefighters and law enforcement safe.
If you get a bullet that impacts a metal object or a rock and creates sparks or hot metal fragments, when those land on dry vegetation, they immediately start raising the temperature of that vegetation where they're in contact. Again, if you add a little wind, increase the heat just a little bit more, then you have flame. And at that point, if you have enough vegetation, you have a wildfire.
The Phoenix District Office is the first district office in the Bureau of Land Management to actually actively manage for recreational target shooting. When it comes to any new activity in the Bureau of Land Management, the foundation is public trust, really with anything. And so the first thing we really needed to do was gain the trust of the user group community, which would be the recreational target shooters. The partners that were in place and were active in us planning and developing the shooting ranges were the Arizona Game and Fish Department, the Arizona Rifle and Pistol Association, the Shooters Roundtable, which is a national roundtable for all shooting across the country. We made sure that we had a form of, active users and enthusiasts that could give us a corporate knowledge that we need.
In development of our recreational shooting areas, we took into consideration topography, and there is an area closed around these sites so that other recreational users do not put themselves in danger. As well, we ensure that there is a good, solid backstop behind all of the targets, so there should not be any concern with bullets going downrange beyond the shooting range.
One of the key components that we looked at in deciding where we were going to open our recreational target shooting ranges was, where are people shooting right now? Really, the ranges that we opened are places people are already shooting. We also have our fire team come in and our fuels team, and they actually take a look at, the fuels that are on the ground and make sure that we have it, mitigated for in that way, as far as making sure we have the proper fuel loads to ensure that we don't have a fire risk.
Good morning, my name is Travis Helfrich. I work in fire management on the Tonto National Forest, and today we're out at the Hewitt Station shooting pit area where we conducted a prescribed burn last year. And behind me, you can see the line that we put in. Fire would be on my left and non-fire would be on the right. A majority of the reason why we decided to do this prescribed burn for firefighter safety, to try and get ahead of the fires before they're started, not on our terms. So we'll come in beforehand, early season, and burn it in a time when it's going to be more manageable in our prescription, as opposed to burning it when it's started by the public in June, 115 degrees, and there's people out here shooting, it just poses a very high safety concern for us on the ground.
Developed shooting ranges are helpful to both land managers and fire managers as they provide a safe location for the public to shoot, and they also provide an area that we can manage to ensure that there is not an issue with hazardous vegetation or dry vegetation that could become a wildfire concern. Also, it gives our law enforcement an area that they can patrol on a regular basis, so if there's any issue, they can be there to help. And if there is an emergency call, they know immediately where to go when they get the call.
Prevention of wildfires includes essentially three things: engineering, education, and enforcement. And when you frame shooting ranges up with that, the engineering is the shooting range. The enforcement is our constant patrols and coordination with local law enforcement. And then the education can be quite broad. And so it really does hit all three of those parts, and it creates a stronger program.